Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the Streetart Creative channel. Today's video is going to be my top 10 tips for graffiti and street art. This list kind of applies to any art form, but it's more tailored to my audience, which is the graffiti and sort of street art kind of thing. So yeah, let's get into the list. Okay, so number one on the list is practice, practice, practice. This goes without saying for every art form ever. You just need to practice. The best way to do this for graffiti is take everything really back to the basics, you know, practice letter structure, build boxes around your letters, exaggerate the boxes until you find something you're happy with. But yeah, it's not going to come overnight, it takes years. I mean, I've taken probably about 4 or 5 years to get to the point where I'm actually happy with my kind of style, and I feel like my style is a bit more recognized with people around me. But yeah, keep practicing any art form, you know, you'll get there eventually. Just keep putting in the work. My next tip is read and watch. I mean, this goes without saying as well, that if you want to really get into an art form, you need to surround yourself with that all the time, you know. You need to read about it and you need to watch about it, you know. There's documentaries out there, there's films about graffiti. All of this is helping really. I mean, there's books as well. I mean, here's a couple books that I have. They're just full of like inspiration, you know, stuff to keep you thinking like, oh, that's a cool like color scheme or something. I'm not going to use it, but I'm going to like think about that and I'm going to adapt that into what I'm doing next. I mean, these magazines are great. You normally get them for free sometimes when you order paint as well, and yeah, they're just full of like really inspirational stuff and really cool artists, and you can learn from what they're doing. And that leads on to my next point, which is don't bite other artists. I see this a lot. It happens a lot more now the internet's big and all that, but Instagram, people pull styles and it's just obvious because people know that style. I mean, just learn your own. You'll get a lot more respect for it and you'll learn a lot more by doing it. I mean, anyone could just get a picture of someone else's piece or someone else's piece of street art or whatever and just imitate it. I mean, you just don't gain anything from doing that, and there's much more productive things to be doing with your time. My next tip is connect and converse. This basically is talking about don't be afraid to speak to other artists. I mean, we're all here for the same reason, you know, we're all here to like do what we enjoy and create artwork. So connect with other people, talk to them, ask for tips, you know, comment on their work, they'll comment on your work. And I mean, that's just a great way to make the community like more friendly place for everyone, you know. If everyone's speaking to each other, then it's a great place to be. But yeah, don't be afraid, because some people will ignore you, some people will be rude and ignorant and that, but for every one person that is, you know, 5 people won't be. So it's definitely worth conversing with other people. My next tip is try other art forms. You know, this is very important when it comes to graffiti, I personally think. Some people get stuck in a rut of thinking, right, I'm a graffiti artist, you know, all I'm going to do is letters and that. And I was like that for a very long time, and then I got to a point where I felt like I wasn't improving anymore, you know. So I tried sculpting. I also tried a lot of pencil drawings and stuff. So I'd like set an apple down or some object and I'd draw it. And that taught me a lot about, you know, tone, shading, lighting and all that. And then I could use those skills and put them back into my graffiti. And now my 3Ds on my things is so much better than what it was before, prior to trying those other arts. My next tip is meet up with other artists. All it takes is for you to see a nice piece in your city and think, oh, I like that. You know, all you have to do is read the name, type that name into Instagram, it'll come up at the top, you know, their artist, comment on their thing, oh, I've just seen this today, really sick, can we meet up for a paint? That's all it takes. You'll meet up with a paint and you'll learn so much off them. I mean, I did it for a while. For a while, I was just here, you know, I'd go out, I'd do a piece and I'll come home. That'd be my painting experience. But I realized that it's so much more fun and sociable, and you learn so much more when you're surrounded by other people. So yeah, and that's how you make memories in graffiti and art, and how you develop is through other people. So don't forget that rule at all. My next tip is learn the materials. I mean, there's an expansive array of materials when it comes to art. I mean, graffiti alone, there is like so much to learn just with the cans. You know, there's high pressure, there's low pressure, there's medium pressure, there's matte, there's gloss, there's semi-gloss, there's satin paint. There's different qualities, different price points, you know, there's different paint you use for different things like fills, outlines, shadows, transparents, neons, you know, there's so much to learn. And it can be quite intimidating, but I'm gonna do another video talking about what materials I use and what I get the best results from, so someone starting out doesn't have to, you know, explore an entire website stock just to find out what they want to run. Yeah, and you know, the same with caps and stuff, but I will go over that in another video. But it's just something to consider, like there is a lot to learn when it comes to that, but it's not too bad when you get into it. So my next tip is organization, and this is going to come to when you're actually going to go out to paint. I hate when I used to be badly organized with things and I'd get to a wall and I've realized, oh my god, like you forgot your blacks, or you forgot your, like I've even done it, I've got there and I've turned out I've got no caps with me, and I've had to come home and write the day off pretty much, or come back and go get the caps and that. But yeah, so I'm going to do another video as well talking about what's in my bag when I go for a paint, talking about the essentials and that, but being organised with your supplies is very, very, very important. My next tip comes along with the practice tip, which is can control. It's less practice and more muscle memory, and it's something you will not learn in a week. It's something you will not learn in a month. It's something you'll learn in years and years, but it just gets better and better and better. And it's also one of those skills in life, with anything really, which you've got to keep putting work into it or it'll fade away. You know, someone who's like a really good cyclist and that, if they take a few months off, when they come back, they're not going to be where they once were. And that's the same with can control. So I find that if I paint every day for 2 weeks, my muscle memory will be really sharp, and that's really what you want to aim for. Obviously people aren't going to paint that much, but that's just an example of what I've done in the past. And my final tip to everyone in any art form is show respect for other people. I mean, we've all started from a point where, you know, you're not great, and you've got to put in that work, and someone who's willing to take up an art form and put in the work to get to where they want to be deserves all the respect, whether their quality, their work's not that good or not. If you discourage people at the start, I mean, it just doesn't do much for you. I mean, it's your choice, but it doesn't do much for you, and you can just imagine yourself in their position. If you were discouraged that early on, would you still be doing it? But yeah, just show respect. You know, if you appreciate someone's art, tell them you appreciate their art. They're most likely going to tell you they appreciate yours, and you know, that's the way we want to do it. So I hope these tips help, guys. I'm going to be doing follow-up videos on the materials, what's in my bag, and how I organise stuff. But yeah, if you like the video, stick a thumbs up on that, drop a subscribe, as well as follow me over on Instagram @CircCreative. I'm going to be putting content over there a lot more often and notifying when there's uploads on here. So yeah guys, catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.